Hello, welcome back to the craft room. Today I've got a little pattern for you for this little rainbow stuffy that I've designed. You can use it for anything. I've put them on key rings, but you can hang them off like a baby mobile. You can make a badge. You can make a really big earring. Whatever you like. I feel it's quite a simple pattern to give you like a sun in a rainbow with raindrops coming out the bottom. And I think we should get on with the show. Right, just let me sit down on the chair. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll have a bit better look at them. So it's done in single crochet, double crochet if you use UK terms, and it's just 2 pieces, back and a front, so that's why it's good for a key ring or a mobile, because you don't have a wrong side. Well, you do have a back side, but it's not wrong. And you can either put the raindrops right on the edge. Yes, I know that red doesn't look that great, but this was the first one I did. Or you can have them a little bit longer, so they dangle a bit. The yarn I'm using is these ones up here, and they are all 8-ply cottons or cotton blends. Use any ones you like, but you need to arrange them in a colour order that you like. So I've just gone with a standard 6-colour rainbow. As I said, any colour you like. I would suggest that one of your colours is yellow or a really light colour, because what you want is this one in the middle. This is where we start, and this is like a sun. I thought of doing it blue, but then some of my testers have put a little face in there, and I thought that was really cute, so we went with yellow so it can be Mr. Sunshine. The hook I'm using is a 3mm or a 5 or a O, I think that's what you call it, and that's my one. This is actually one of the Temu hooks I got from a different video, and it's working really good. It came as a set, but anyway, and a pair of scissors and wool needles and all that. So the first thing we want to do is we want to do a magic circle. So up like that, pull that one through, and then pick that one up, and then we just go pop it through. This yarn I'm using, this is a Flinders yellow. It's not twisted as much as it should be. So that's our stay stitch. We don't count that one. We want 6 single crochets. So we just go like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what I like to do, especially when you're doing something quite small, I like to take that twist out of the yarn before I tighten it up. And the other way I do it, to keep all the stitches from twisting around, which they do sometimes with a magic ring, I hold the stitches under that thumb and then I pull the string. And that helps them to stay flat so we can find the end. Now hopefully the camera, I'll get this through and then hopefully the camera will show it. You need to put your hook through the first V that you see. You see that little V there? Yes, that's the one. And then we pick up that loop, pop that one through that one, and then through that one. That's our slip stitch to hold it together. Give a good yank of the yarn at the back, and that's the first row done. Makes a little tiny dot. So now we chain 1, and we're going to put a single crochet. I'm going to put my first one at the base of that chain, which is actually the last stitch that we did the slip stitch in. So I put 1 in there, and then we're going to put 2 in every stitch. So that's like that. And I will pause this. Actually, no, I might do it while I'm talking to you. I'll pause it on the next one. So we're putting 2 in each one. Keep checking that you are doing 2 in each one. And another one. So we had 6 in the first row, so we should have 12 in this row. If my maths is correct, I will check it in a minute. Not my maths, whether I've got 12. Before I do what looks to be the last one, I will check that I have 12. Pull it out a bit. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need one more. Now, I should have had 12, but the thing is, because my first one was my chain one, I only put one in the base of it. So this one here, this is our reaching across to do the slip stitch. We're going to sneak one in there. And then we go under the first V and make a slip stitch so they join up. So that is the first 2 rows. Just like that. Give another little yank. Now, we chain 1. This is for row 3. This is where we start going into rows rather than rounds. So we are going to do, once again, we're doing 1 into the base of the next stitch, and then we are doing 2 into each of the next 7 stitches, like this. Now, what that should do, you should be stopping over here, and you should have 4 V's along the bottom that aren't used. They should be staying on this row. So I'm going to pause this and I will be back when I've done. All right, I'm back. Let me put this here so it focuses. So as you can see, I've got 4 stitches along the bottom I haven't done, and I've got 16 stitches. Now when I count stitches like this, I really only count the little V's on the top because they're the things I'm going to have to go into. So I have 16 little V's on the top and 4 little V's here. If I hold it that way, can you see the little V's right there? That each one of those is a stitch. So 4 of those that I haven't used. So this row here, we finish it off differently to any others. We will do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So just like that, and then pull through like that. Cut the string a little bit away and pull it out. So that is that bit done. Now another thing that I do when I have magic rings, you pull it really tight so that the hole in the middle has closed. And then I put it down here and I make an overhand knot, which is just a twist like this. Let me just put it in and I'll bring it up and show you. So you see that little knot? This is, I'll use the thing so you can see. That's where the yarn's coming out of the work. It's gone around and then back through. Now what I do is I pull that, trying to put the hook on it so the hook stays down, the knot stays down near your work, and then use your fingernail to get it close. Now that's not quite as close as I'd like it. See if I can cover it up so you can see. You see it's got a little tiny knot on the string right there. So that means that my magic ring will not come undone because it's got to go over that little tiny knot. I know it's blurry on the screen at the moment. Let's see if we can go. See the little knot? So we've done that. Our ring's not going to come out. We've done the single crochet to finish. So the next thing we want is this. This is my number 6 yarn, this purple. So we're starting with that. And if you look at a rainbow in the pictures and online and all that, it does start with the darkest colour. That's why the contrast is so good. So for this row, we are going to do a standing single crochet, which means that we put the slip knot on the hook. Did I show you the slip knot? I probably didn't. We'll do it again. So slip knot, that's our short end, over, grab that one like that. And that's our slip knot. We put that on our hook, pull it up. Now, this one here is our first one. Grab your long thread and pick up a loop through that stitch and then pull through both. And that's how you do a standing single crochet. See, the knot's not on the work, it's up in the air. It gives you a better finish. Now this is row 5, and all we're doing is 1 single crochet in each stitch. That should give us 16 single crochets, just 1 in each stitch. And I will pause and I will be back once I've done that. Alright, we're back and I've done my 16 single crochets, 1 in each one of the row below. We've got around to here. Now if you remember, the last one was our slip stitch to finish the row. So that one there is my last one. And all we do is 1 chain, cut it off, pull it out. Now in the pattern, it does say to leave longer tails than this. That was when I thought I'd be putting beads on the end of these. I've since decided not to, but you leave the longer tails. I haven't taken out the pattern because then you don't need stuffing to make these stiffer. You just tuck the tails inside. So that is our first colour row. Next one we need is the blue. So we'll do another slip knot. Every row from now on starts with a standing single crochet. And then for this row, we are going to go into the first stitch. When I can get it through. There we go. All right, so we're first through the first stitch, pick up a loop and 1. But in the next one, we do 2. So there's 1. And there's our second one. And then we go back to 1 again. And you need to do this all the way around on the 16 stitches from the previous row. And 2. Like so. So these ones here, we don't do anything else with those. Okay, they're just going to stay like that for now on. We only work on rows now. We're not going all the way around. So repeat that. Single crochet, 2 crochets in the next one. And I'll meet you when I'm back around here. Alright, so that row has been done. And I've finished it off like the previous row. So we had 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, all the way around. And this has increased our stitch count to 24 stitches. So now we go to the next one, which is the green. We do our slip knot. Now this is row 4. No, row 7, colourful. This row is the same as the purple row, and it's just 1 stitch in each single crochet. So you're not increasing, so there'll still be 24. And starting is the same, into the first stitch. And then go like this, and like that. And do that all the way around. And I will be back when this row is done. Alright, so that's the green row done. Like I said, there's nothing special on these, just 1 in every stitch. We finished it off the same way. We still have the 24 stitches. So next one we do, this is the yellow again, so this is colour number 3. Put the slip stitch on the hook. And then with this one, we are doing 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So that's 1 and 2. And then we do two single crochets, but singly. That makes sense. So a pair and then 2 singles. You see that? Go 2 in that one and then 2 singles. And we repeat this all the way around. 1 and 2. And then 2 singles. 1 and 2. And we're going through both loops each time. I should have said that earlier. I apologize. So we keep going all the way around. And the last one, I think the last one should be a pair. We'll check in a minute. And when this is done, you should have 32 stitches all the way around. And I will be back when I have done that. All right, so that has been done. And I was wrong. We finished on 2 singles at the end there. So there's now 32 stitches around here. So once again, we will add the next colour. This is my orange. Put the hook in, and this is also the same as row, what is it, 3, 5 and 7. Is this just a single crochet in each stitch around. So when you get to the end, you should have 32 stitches still. Just putting one in each stitch. We don't want it to expand too quickly because then it won't lay flat. We need it to lay flat to be a badge. We're not making a, what do we call it? A ravioli. We're making a rainbow. And we just do that all the way around. And I'll be back in a tick when that's done. Alright, so that's now done. 32 stitches all the way around with the orange. Now the next thing you want to do is to repeat all that so you have 2. Here's one I prepared earlier. And then we put them wrong sides together. Now, in case you don't know what the wrong side is, it's the little V's. See, you can see those little V's. But if I turn this over, you can't see them. You can see these bumps, but the V's show themselves on the right side. So that's how you know if it's the wrong side, because if you can see all these little bumps but no V's. Anyway, so we are going to put right sides together, and we should also have one colour of yarn that we haven't used yet, and that's the one we're going to use to join them up. So both of these pieces have 32 stitches, so therefore they should join up together quite well. Make our little slip stitch, put it on the hook, and then go around, and we want to put the hook through the one closest to you, both V's, and then the one at the back, both V's. Hopefully you can see that. So we've got 2 lots of V's under 4 strands, so that's both of the stitches. Get all the strings out the way, and then pull through both and do the crochet. And you take it nice and slow. You're not in a race. You should go under 4 loops each time, 2 for each stitch. Pull through and single crochet, and you want to do this on every stitch. That way you'll know whether you did it right because they'll match up. And what it's doing is joining, and it's also giving you a nice harder edge there. So I will keep going on this, and I will be back when that is done. I forgot to say before I started, you want to do this to approximately the middle. Now, we've got 32 stitches, so half of 32 doesn't work, but half of, oh, hang on, yes it does. My maths is not working. We want to go to 16. So, what have I done here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So I need 2 more. I apologise for my maths. 15 and 16. All right, so we are now at the top, the middle of the top. So what we want to do, we want to crochet 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 6, and then we get our keyring part. Now this is just a little one that I have. You're going to have to guess how much cotton you think you'll need for the rest of the row, and then add a little bit more. So I've just pulled off that much. I think that should do. And we'll pull that loose, because we want to thread the keyring part onto those chains that we just did, but we also want to keep crocheting. So I've probably got far too much thread, but I'd rather have more than not enough. So I've just done that. Just put it through the loop on the keyring hardware, and then we come back down, leave that hanging on our chain, and go into the one we just did, and this time we're going to do a slip stitch. So just pull that loop through the other loop, and then we carry on doing the joining row that we were already doing. You see that? Out of the way. There's our little loop. The focus to come back. There we go. Our little loop, our hardware attached, and we carry on doing through the two pieces, joining them up with a single crochet along the top. And I will be back when I've done that. Alright, so that's all done, and it did match up. Now I remembered why my maths was off, because when I did the first one, this one, I thought it was a little bit off, so I had slip stitched to the next one, and that made it 17, but we put it in 16 this time. So it all matches up. The back looks pretty neat and tidy. Now, also, I had that much yarn left. Not that much, so I was pretty close on my guess. Just put my sleeve up. Now it's rainbow taco time. So you open up the bottom and stuff all the guts back inside. These are all the ends, so we don't have to weave any ends in. Just tuck them in tight as you can. Push down quite a bit. You want them to sit on the roof of it so they're out your way while you're doing the closing. All the way down. So that's pretty good. And if you hold it together, you can use the closed scissors, and they grip a bit more than your fingers. So what happens is you push in with your fingers, and because your hands have got a lot of bit of static on them, they actually pull the thread out as your hand comes out, which is annoying, but anyway. But we're getting it. Alright, so that's pretty good. So that's our taco all made, or our stuff inside. And as you can see, because they're back to back, they're going to come back. There we go. You can see that's the knot there, and then it's on the opposite side. But we do have the same amount of stitches between them, and then you can see all the different colour changes. And if you can't see the colour change, it means some of the tail's in the way. So just tuck them right. And there we go. So the next step is we've got to do the closing. Now, for the first one, I just did the closing and the beads on the same row. And to me, that looks a little bit messy. So I've added into the pattern that we'll do a row of single crochet to close it, and then we'll come back and do the beads. Okay. And I didn't really like the way the red looked. That's why I cut off. I like the way the red looks there, but I didn't like it along the bottom. Looks like it was like bleeding eyeballs or something. So we're going with the blue because these are supposed to be raindrops. And we'll do our standard single crochet. And then what we're going to do, we need to do single crochets on both sides, and they have to be on the ends of every row. So we'll start off with this one right up here, this one we just finished, and we'll pull that through. Now, if we're smart, we'll put our tail over the top and tuck that in the taco too, and then finish the stitch. Now, as you can see, some of those ends haven't quite settled in, so we'll just open the taco, push them in further, and close the taco up again. So that one there is in the red row. Now we need to put one in the orange row. You may need to work your way around. This one's not cooperating this time. Get down. Down, I say. Alright, so into the orange row. There we go. And I hope you can see that. See, I've got 2 stitches from either side, 2 loops. There's 2 there, and then there's 2 there. I hope you can see that. And then we pick up a a loop, bring it up, and then pull it on the top. Now what you want to try and do is to seat these stitches on the very top of the join. So we've done the orange, now we do the yellow, and if you turn it over that sometimes helps too. Make sure you bring it to the top and then do that. So that's what we're doing all the way along. We're trying to make it neat. And one, and then come on this side and the other one. It is a good idea to turn it to make sure you're getting 2 loops of both colour. And if you can try and seat it on the top, it makes it neater on the bottom edge. Does that make sense? Because we're looking at the bottom, so we're looking at the top. Yeah, it makes sense. Talk fast enough. And the cat's woken up. And then keep going like that. Okay, so now we have 1 stitch in each colour, attaching both sides. This side isn't as nice as the other side, but it's still neat. That's all we can ask for. And don't forget that the purple is a separate row, so make sure you get... this one doesn't want to come through. We've got that side, we've got to get this side. There we go. And pull it through. So that's all the colours done. 1 for each colour. Now we're at the unworked stitches from row 2. So you want to pick up the knot. I've got the knot, now I've got to get this V. Come on, get through. See, that one doesn't want to come through. There we go, we got it. So we've gone under the knot that finished it on this side and then into the last V. Is it going to come focus back? Trying to make it focus for you. Nope, it doesn't want to focus. Put it down. I hope you could see that. And we will pop it through. So you'll need 1 in each of these across and then the same on that side, and I will be back when I've done that and we will start putting the beads on. Alright, back again. So I have done that, like I said, and I have 18 stitches along here, 1 for every colour, and then there's actually 5 here because there's 4 unworked stitches and then there's the knot, you know, from the slip stitch that joined that row. So we have 18 stitches, and all I've done at the end is I've just done a chain 1. Now what do I have to do? This is for the beads. Once again, I've got to pull out as much as I think. Hopefully that'll be enough. And now you need to get, now I know this is a little bit rusty, I really only use it for beads. These are my beads here. Now I have some still, sorry to keep saying now, I apologise. I have some of these. This is how they came. These are just round glass beads. They're not plastic. They're just what I had already. I would have loved to get teardrop shaped beads, but the shop didn't have any. So this is as close as I could get. And what you want is you want the eye of your needle to be able to go through your beads easily. Okay, not the point. You need the eye to go through. Now, I do have 1 or 2 in here that doesn't go through, but I have enough others to do it. And you need to thread on 9 of the beads. So first of all, we actually thread the needle because it's kind of hard to put it on without a needle. All right, don't need much. So we put the 9 beads on. 2, 3, 4. This is just a wool needle, by the way. 4, 5, 7, 8 and 9. Now if you've got beads where they may not go through, you can get a thing called a bead reamer. Basically it's just a file that will gouge out your hole a bit better, but it's able to gouge out on glass. So we don't need the needle anymore. We are just going to go and put a slip knot in the end, just so when the beads come down here they don't fall off, okay, because we've had to pull the string out a bit more. Move that out the way. So we've done our chain 1. Now these ones here, this was 3 chains. Now I don't mind that, I wouldn't mind it a bit longer, so I'm going to do 5 chains just to see whether it would work. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we get our beads and bring 1 up, yeah, all the way up, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. You needed to cut your string so you could get the beads on. That's why we have such a long string, because I don't want it. And the way you join your bead in, I've pushed it right up to the hook, and you grab the loop and you chain 1. And then turn your work around, and then you are, hopefully you can see this, we're going to slip stitch into the side of each of these chains and work our way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last but not least 5. Now what we want to do, this is our last stitch, so we slip stitch into that. That gets us in line with our chain, and then we're going to skip 1 stitch. So we just do a slip stitch in that and then get into the next one. And then this will be where we do our next. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And let me just stand that up for you. You roll it a bit in your fingers because it is a bit stiff to start with. And there's our little dangle, not our dangle, this is our raindrop. And he's got a nice loop at the bottom so he will dangle. All right, so I'll do that again. So we've chained 5, bring our next bead up. All right, all the way up. Snug it in right close to the crochet hook. Do 1 chain and then slip stitch back down our chains to the base again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then you want to slip stitch into the stitch that you started from. Slip stitch in the next stitch because we are skipping that one. We're not skipping it, but we're not going to put a chain on it. And then into the next stitch. Now going from the back is a little bit easier because you can see the holes where you want to go in. And then we chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And the cat's awake. I already said that. Oh, she's really awake now. And there we have our danglies. So what I'll do is I'll put the rest of these on. I'm going to have 9 altogether. So there'll be 3 here, 3 in the middle, and 3 on the end. I'll come back when I'm over here. Hey, I'm back a little bit earlier than I thought. I'm going to run out and I've got to do 2 more beads yet. So I thought I'd show you how I join up a new string when I'm beading. So what I've done, let me just pull that through. Now that is not enough to do the 2 strings I have left. It would probably do one, but then I'd have a really short end. So I've slip stitched to the bottom so I could finish that one off. And then I've slip stitched to the next and then pulled the yarn to the back. I've threaded up my wool needle on this wool again. So we just thread those 2 onto the new yarn. Get the needle out the way. Now, I need this to, what's the word? I need this to be able to be hidden in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim this down a bit lower. Now, wind that around my finger so I can pull against it. And I'm going to just tie a granny knot here. Now, this is just temporary. This is not my last knot. This is just a knot so I can keep going and so that I can get further up and then do the knot better. So we need to pull our, I've just got, see that's the knot there. I need to pull my yarn back through the front because we need to do the chain. So I'm just pulling that so the knot is snug to the back of the work. And then I'm going to do my chain 5. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. Let me check something first. Pulled it through, but I think we should be in the next one. Yes, we should be. Good thing I caught that. Alright, so we just slip stitch across to the next one. The knot has fallen on one of the ones we skipped, which is good. Okay, so we just chain the 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm just going to pull that loop bigger. Now let's look at this knot. So my knot's quite tight to this side, but this side's a bit loose. So we'll take out our knot that we did. Admittedly, I did not tie it very tight because I knew I was going to take it out. So just undo it. Come on, there we go. Come on, done. I apologize if you can't see me undoing the knot, but that's literally all I'm doing. Okay. So now we're back to having 2 separate bits of string, but we've joined our new bit of string. There we go. So we've joined our new bit of string and we put a long loop on the end so that it's not going to come undone. Now I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot, which is like your granny knots, but with an extra twist. What that extra twist means is that it tightens on itself. So it is not going to come undone. The more it gets pulled, the tighter it gets. So your normal granny knot with an extra twist. Now I will lift that up. Hopefully you can see it. It's snugged right into there. So we can just hide those ends with the needle when we get up to it. And we can carry on with our beading. So we just do the last 2. Pull that one through and slip stitch back down. When I can get through. There we go. So, like I said, just one side of the chain and slip stitch back down. And I'll be back in a tick when I'm all finished. Okay, now that's all done. I've just woven all the ends in. So all I did is got the needle and threaded them up. And then I went between them, wiggled it a bit, and then came out here and pulled it tight, wiggle it a bit more, and cut it off. And that is our keyring all done. This, with the extra line, I think is a lot neater than this original one I did. You could still have the droplets quite close. Just do the extra row of joining them up. Don't do the beads on the same row. I've written it with the extra row in the pattern that's available, and I will put the link to the pattern in the description. So there is my 3 little rainbow key rings. Put them in the wrong place, but anyway. Now, I just thought I would show you this same pattern. Move my arm out of the way. I also have been teaching myself micro crochet. This is a 0.75 needle. Is it going to show you? And I've been using top stitch thread, which is the one with the green, and I made these, which is the same pattern, and it's got the 2 layers, and I've just put a shepherd's hook. It's not really a shepherd's hook, it's more of a kidney hook, and then I did longer raindrops. So I did do the beading slightly different. I went down and then missed one and then came up the same way. But that is the same pattern as earrings, and I think that's rather cool. I'm very happy with them. It is the same pattern. I wasn't going to do a tutorial with micro crochet because, like I said, I'm just learning how to do it. This is only my 2nd or 3rd one I've tried. You need a finger cover. Anyway, so I hope you like this tutorial. Please like, share and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps out the channel quite a bit. And if you like this content, please make a comment. I do try to answer all the ones that I see. And oh, cool. We are also working on a very big project at the moment, and looks like the next bit just got finished, so I can go on to doing that next. And I will give you a sneak peek on that pretty soon. We're pretty chuffed with the way it's going, so that's good. So you have a good week, and I will see you on the next one.